Many people had hope deep down, partly I guess because of the cool symmetry of the number, and partly because everything was heading ever onwards and upwards, that 2020 was going to be a bit of a zinger of a year. And boy, how wrong did we get that. But now that it's finally over and it's behind us, and on this very first day of 2021, I wanted to just look back over some of the positives that did come out of 2020 on a personal level, and for the Retromodernism project moving forward into a new year and a new gear. 2020 kicked off for us and this project with a couple of posts on Instagram which rewound the clock to 2019, and we finally posted content about visits to Frieze London, where among many other treats I came across Jonathan Meese's work shown by the David Nolan Gallery in New York. There was a fabulous tapestry by the renowned artist and cross-dresser Grayson Perry, and a 70s revisit to the 60s by pioneering American feminist Nancy Spero. Now, travelling between my homes in Italy and the UK was cut short in February 2020, as it was for many people, but not before I'd had a chance to make a quick visit to the V&A in London and seen the truly awesome Wonderful Things exhibition, featuring work by British fashion photographer Tim Walker. Tim's work is, what can I say, it's just sublimely executed mashups of ideas and impressions that have been left on his mind from throughout his childhood, I guess, from reading Lord of the Flies to seeing illustrations by Aubrey Beardsley or medieval Gothic stained glass windows, South Asian mythology. There are so many influences that are pouring into his work and being recycled and used in just the most terrific creative way. There's actually no limit, and the exhibition, I have to say, ranks as one of my favourites ever. Little wonder that fashion brands like Moncler are so keen to work with Tim Walker. Once I'd actually been locked down in Italy, the idea came to me to take a deep breath and launch a YouTube channel. So on March the 6th of 2020, the first Retromodernism video went out, attempting to explain what the idea was and where we might be heading. Now, the video is pretty ropey, but the concept is obviously sound, and so followed a variety of videos which underline the basic premise of the artists whose work could be defined as encapsulating, but at the same time refreshing a style from another artist or an artist's work from the past. One such contemporary artist who I'd mention here, and actually we'll talk about a little later, is Titus Kaphar. But also there are artists in the past, obviously, who represent exactly this concept of retromodernism, and those could include, I don't know, Picasso or Tintoretto, who've provided food for thought and videos which are part of this series. Just as a reminder then, retromodernism is a viewpoint on the creative output which is as applicable to industrial design as it is to painting or sculpture. The same thing goes for many other disciplines, as Tim Walker shows us with photography. But there's also, I don't know, music and fashion, movies. There are so many points where you can say, yeah, I recognize that. That is retromodernism. It's a fusion of classical and contemporary ideas. Very much about contemporary art and ideas and sociology, which are mixing and melding with the artist's own sensibility. Art appreciation is our prime goal here, and we'll continue to explore the countless examples that are out there, whatever form they take. Naturally, the invitation is open to yourselves to please flag examples that you come across, put them in the comments below, and add them to our ever-growing inventory. There are so many stories to tell. This new way of reading art will, of course, ultimately add to the value of work that shares our backstory. In music, also thanks to my son, who's of a younger generation, I'm discovering a wealth of fantastic new music which has deep roots in jazz, blues and progressive rock, but with a new twist and new connotations for today's audiences. And this is also actually a great motivational point for retromodernism. It's a culture exchange that can work between parents and their kids. They know the new stuff, but we probably have a pretty good handle on the old classics, which can go from Ray Charles to Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. In automotive design, we've talked about the VW ID, which is going to be coming out, but also now we've got the new electric Fiat 500, and it's a masterpiece. The right vehicle at the right time, and surely it's going to be a winner for 2021 and beyond. And it's just one of a whole host of vehicles that are being produced by the automotive manufacturers that are really behind a surge towards more sustainable motoring and leaving behind us fossil fuels for once and for all. Back to mainstream art though, and Titus Kaphar, who's built a rock-solid reputation and continued that with an exhibition entitled The Evidence of Things Unseen. This ran between October and November in 2020 in Brussels. Now, Titus Kaphar is a fascinating artist who's using classical art to retell history for young black people today, but correcting the omissions and the slights of the past that have cropped up in art. So, out of what really has been a tragic and desperate year in 2020, there are just a few green shoots of optimism poking their way through, and which I hope and think will actually continue to do so in 2021. It's not going to be easy, but as I say, if you have an objective and you have a point to focus on, keep moving forwards. And this is a journey that we should be taking on together. And please get involved. As I say, write comments and ask questions. If you've enjoyed this video, please, as always, click like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the previous videos, all of which paint the picture of what retromodernism is all about. In the meantime, thank you, stay safe, stay curious, and let's try to make 2021 a year to remember for the right reasons. Bye-bye for now.